the history of Molnija's watch company and its watches can be traced back to the history of the American factory for the Duber Hampton watch company and the history of Moscow's first watch factory. In 1929, the Soviet trade mission to America. Back in the days, people went to the trade missions to another continents and other countries. And the Amtorg Trading Corporation went to the trading mission to America, and they bought two bankrupt watch factories. So they bought the Duber Hampton Watch Company in Canton, Ohio. They produced pocket watches and wristwatches, as well as the Ansonia Clock Company in New York. They produced alarm clocks and ball clocks. So these two companies laid the groundwork for the Soviet Union's first state watch factory in Moscow, and also the second watch factory, Moscow's second watch factory, which was called the Slava factory. It's interesting when you look at the history of these companies. So if some Russian geezers haven't went to the trade mission in America and bought two broke bankrupt watch factories, there wouldn't be any Russian watch factories. Well, I guess they would went to some other country, but yeah, you get the gist. It's connected with America. It's really fascinating to learn and produce these things. So basically, they bought a bunch of tools and blueprints and know-hows, and they had their watch companies in 1930s and 1931 already up and running. So the 3603 as the legendary manual winding anti-shock movement, which was manufactured at Molnija's watch factory. So this caliber was created, and then later on in 1984 it began to be mass produced. Okay, here's the watch. Here's the box. Just a cool box, black, full leather, and it works. It's rugged. I kind of like it. But here's the watch. This says Tribute to 1984 3.0. They had some other versions, but this one is a 42mm version, which I like and would definitely recommend because it wears a bit larger on the wrist because it has no bezel. Everything is a watch dial, so it just wears a bit larger on the wrist. And this is a manual wound caliber 3603 shock resistant mechanical movement. And just want to show you, over the years I've been asked questions about winding a manual watch, because some of you may not have a manual wound watch. See, there's no rotor in here, just a human action. And I like that interaction between a man and his watch, especially in the morning when you get up and you have your first cup of coffee. Then you proceed to wound the watch to give it power for the day. It's a tradition, and from the old timers, from the older folks, many of you have seen your grandpas or uncles. Every morning they wind up their watch, or someone even did it at the evening at 7:00. But about winding the watch, you wind the watch until you feel resistance, and you don't go further. How you gonna know you're gonna feel resistance? It's gonna be pretty obvious. See, you wind this normal, firm, and here you feel resistance, and you don't go past this point. Otherwise, you're gonna break the spring, and after you feel the resistance, just stop. Power reserve, once you wound this watch, is approximately 40 hours. And you wind this watch once a day. And what I especially like about manual wound watches, I adore manual wound watches, is that if you have a collection of watches and you don't wear this watch every day, if you have a watch wearing every day, then manual automatic watch makes more sense. But you have a tons of different watches. I like manual wounded. Just grab it, manually wound it, and has no date. That's a great plus for me. It has no date. Having no date on a watch, if you have multiple watches in your collection, just works like a charm. I hate setting the date, and it's a biggest plus for me. The dial here on this watch, as I recently reviewed Arisakis TT1, and has a very similar grooves on the dial, like the Arisakis, and the cutouts here and concentric circles. Very interesting. Even though it's black, it may appear like dull black, but it's not. It's actually a very attractive dial. But one thing I do not like about this watch, and is the dial has no logo name. I would definitely put Molnija here below the logo. Molnija in Russian means lightning. Once we have wound the watch, I want to set the current time. So you pull out the crown. Once you pull out the crown, there is no hacking on this moment, but there is no hacking on Patek Philippe Calatrava or on Kuta reversal. So it's an option. There is some hacking on some, there is not on some. When there's no hacking, I see it as the watch has less parts to break down. So you pull out the crown and you just turn it in a clockwise position, and you set the crown. Set the crown here. It's just a nice smooth action. You're just gonna put it here, that looks nice. You just do this and you're good to go. 100 meters water resistance can do you for everyday use, washing hands, washing dishes, whatnot. However, I would not recommend swimming with the watch, even though 100-meter water resistance rating, when its watch is brand new with the seals intact and everything super brand new. I swam with those watches. You can swim with them, you can snorkel, but I would definitely do not recommend. I would get a dive watch, proper dive watch for swimming with the screw down crown and all that good stuff. This is for everyday watch. This is a watch for I guess a lot of you use this for someone who's had enough of the mainstream stuff and likes to wear a watch that says, what the heck is that watch? And you can clearly see it's a mechanical watch, it's not quartz, and when you flip it around, you get this movement and you ask yourself, what, that's cool, that looks cool, and you see this lettering in Cyrillic, and it's so exotic. It's crazy. Okay, now I'm gonna give you the specs. So the case diameter of the watch is 42 millimeters, and I forgot to show you the crown here. It's a logo of Molnija Lightning. It's a 316L stainless steel, highly polished, and even though I like the brushed combinations, to have a highly polished stainless steel, it requires more work and effort, and it costs more to make. So strap width is 22 mils, and it tapers down to the 20 mils, and it has a here butterfly clasp. It just works, and the strap is soft. It's genuine leather. It says genuine leather. I think it has a padding of leather and insert some sort of padding, but it's very comfortable. Even though I haven't broke it in yet, it's comfortable right out of the box. And of course, for this price range, the watch has a sapphire crystal. It has to have a sapphire crystal, and yeah, it's pretty accurate. The I think the rating would be plus minus 30 seconds or 15 seconds. But these watches, I had many of these watches with manual wound movement in the pocket watches. And this particular moment, it can be regulated to pretty to be pretty accurate if you care about those things, and has a 40-hour power reserve. And yeah, it's 100-meter water resistance, so good for everyday, day-to-day swimming. I almost forgot to show it to you on the wrist. Yeah, stay with me. Very nice, 18.5 centimeters on my wrist. It wears a little bit bigger than the size suggests. I took 42 mils, but it kind of wears larger because of there's no black bezel like on a dial watch, and it's all dial. And the indices are very nice, polished here, and it's very comfy. I've been wearing this for a past couple of days, and people are looking at my watch. They know I'm a watch guy, and every time I put a new watch, there are some people are interested, some are glancing, some are asking, some do not. And I caught some stares, and I don't know if it's a puzzle. What kind of watch is that? They're trying to figure out what kind of watch is he wearing now, or is it the fact that it's just black and shiny and very attractive? It's kind of for everyday. Philosophy of use for this watch would be everyday, and collection place, manual wound exotic watch from Russia with a history. Yeah, let me just quickly show you this. Here it has a passport, and it has a little bit of a history of the watch. So here are just some of the variations of the other colors of this same tribute to 1984 wristwatch. I would call this watch, I don't know, Maverick or something more useful. And yeah, it says here it was founded in 1984. Pause and read if you wanna. I'm sure they have this on their website. And yeah, they have a cool timeline here. So yeah, 1930s trade agency went to the US and bought some stock from the US. They founded the watch factory Molnija in 1947, the first production, and 1948 for the first aviation watch. And yeah, that's very cool. Pause and read, check it out. Very cool. I like learning about history of the watches, and recently I've been watching great series by Hodinkee, and when they speaking of pocket watches, and this for me, this is a pocket watch on a wrist, and I love it. Speaking of pocket watches, that the Swiss have gone to America to learn how to. Americans created some great pocket watches, vintage pocket watches. Some of the Americans' pocket watches are better than European, and but also the Americans created the mass production and mass manufacturing, and Swiss actually went there to check out how it's done. So here you have a passport, you have our hand, descriptions, instructions, how to use the watch, care. Says here, the watch, excluding the strap, should regularly be washed with a wet soapy rag. I would not recommend this. Just take a wet towel with, oh my god, I cannot remember. Wet wipes. Yeah, take the wet wipes. Oh my gosh. And yeah, it says here, never try to open the watch or remove the case back. Okay, that's some standard. things. And here we have some specs. I'm gonna leave it here, so pause and read. Take a photo of this, and yeah. Warranty covers only those watches sold by authorized dealers. I think you can buy these watches off Instagram directly from Molnija and off their website. That's all. That's it. That's a pretty warranty does not cover crystal and strap, scratches on the crystal, and stuff like that. Any damage caused by improper use and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it. That was my review of Molnija watch and tribute to 1984 3.0, and I will put you a link in the description box. So tell me guys, what do you think about this watch? Do you like it? And see ya.